What's up, everybody? It's AG. Here with you with another comic book collection updates. Uh, got Emma Frost, have Mr. Terrific, which Mr. Terrific's like issue 3 came out real quick. Um, some others and stuff like that. But also, heads up, I have paperback. So y'all know I'm reading the Code Witch opening, which I got that one also into the mix. Issue 1, 2, and 3. But I got A Tales of the Shrouded College, Hell to Pay. And let me tell you this, I did not read it. I didn't read it yet. This is probably going to be something I take like off on the side, read it when I got time. Uh and I probably have like an episode strictly on this for itself. So if you're interested in the Shrouded College series, I will be, and I think this is like part 2 that I have. The Code, which is like part 3, and it's just opening and making the lore of the world even larger. So we gonna probably have a whole episode probably on Hell to Pay. But besides that, let's get into the collection.
Okay. So last video I was supposed to add in this, but issue 2 was skipped, and I have issue 2 and 3 that I'm about to tell you about. So the Cold Witch, A Tale of the Shrouded College. So we left off where Viola or Violetta, she ended up getting a memory for Marco's death and stuff like that. How he died, you have to read Hell to Pay, which I will be reading once I go back to the comic book shop. It's like $14.99 at the store. Um, it sits up there, but she got the memory. She couldn't go further on with the memory, but when she got so in the second issue, you starts back off with her looking into some more of the memory, and she have to sneak into Russia. And when she in Russia, she sits up there and she found out that she's looking for a certain person who helped Marco get to the Code Witch, which everybody don't talk about him because he's cursed and bad stuff happens to people if you look for him. So she sit up there, she just listening like to other people conversations, just trying to see and fill them out. And she ended up finding a woman who was having a dilemma with her daughter. Her daughter married a man who beats on her, who made her lose her child from abuse. And her friends were telling her to kill the man and basically like drug him, poison him, then drag him outside of the street and let him be because, nobody would miss him or nothing like that anyway. And she'll be doing the world a favor, not just her daughter. Well, the woman said she's not a murderer, so it's like, and her daughter loves the man, so she's not going to do nothing. Violetta, Valletta, she actually hears and did it for the woman. She didn't say nothing. She did it for the woman. The woman noticed that she was listening to the conversation, and when it happened, the woman went over there and said, "Hey, you did it. Why you did it for us? Why you did it for me?" She was like, "Listen, if you think you owe me something, I do need some information. So give me the information, and whatever you think you owe me is clear. Where's this guy? I can't say his name. It's Russian." And the woman was like, "Oh, if that's what you want, you might end up regretting trying to get that information. But I'll tell you, because you did this for me." In the issue 2, Violet, we're just gonna call her Violet. She meets the guy she's looking for, and he's very close to like two fires. and he's saying how cold he is, and he's still cold. Like, as hot as this is, like, I can't feel it. I'm still cold. So we get to issue 3, where you find out him and Marco, he had Marco pay like 7,000, like a good bit up front to go meet the Cold Witch, and he brought him out there. He had a feeling that Marco was a little trouble. So being brought up to Marco meet with the Cold Witch, and he makes a deal. He asks the Cold Witch to basically serve the Shrouded College. Cold Witch didn't like it. Marco was like, "I wish that you would have been more reasonable to talk to." He captured her, and but before he captured her, the Cold Witch got mad at the guy who brought Marco there and blew a kiss to him. That kiss put a curse to where he's always going to feel cold. So that's why he's so close to the fires at the in the issue 2, because you put a curse on him. She so Marco captures the Cold Witch by absorbing her into his body, and then bringing her to a little place and puts her into a magic jar to where she can escape out of, and she will be trapped in this certain area. Well, I'm about to add in some other stuff from issue 2, and that's also in issue 3. There's the Shrouded College wants to find out who broke into the Shrouded College and got that information. They find out, they go after Violet, and Violet they track her down and they see who she's with. And while the guy who brought Marco to the Cold Witch was giving her the location, they interrupted. She threw a grenade, escaped, and the guy who's feeling all cold that brought Marco to the Cold Witch, he caught on fire and he still feel cold. Well, the Shrouded College spec ops or whatever like that, they help him out, but barely. Like, he's still on fire, and they said, "Hey, listen, if you help us, we'll help you." And the guy was like, "I'd rather die." And it was like, "Oh, we're not gonna kill you. We'll just keep you alive while you're still burning. We'll keep you alive and keep you constantly burning." So I don't know how that's gonna end. We're gonna have to find out in issue 4. Um, but at the end of issue 3, Violet makes it to the little area where the Cold Witch is at, it's trapped at, and breaks it open. And it's a baby in the inside of the jar. And she starts breastfeeding it. And that's where it ends off. So issue 4, I can't wait to read. It's only 5 issues, so I don't know what much more of this story will be told. But I know I will be trying to find out more of this, the whole Shrouded College lore with Hell to Pay, and I'm gonna try to find the first one too.
We have Milestone, the Milestone universe, the Shadow Cabinet. We follow Rocket. No, no, is it? Yeah, a woman named Rocket, hero named Rocket. Let's put some respect to that. She was part of this Brainiac invasion that happened. She helped defend off that, and something happened with the heroes not really wanting to be there after that because of what it was. Icon was the problem that caused Brainiac to come there because he was saving the day. He attracted Brainiac to there. So I'm gonna just put it this way: it's like two stories going on in one, but one of the stories does not matter. It must be leading up to something in a different comic. So whatever that is, we'll have to wait until when that come out. But actually, I could sum that one up. Um, a woman named Evans get hired on with Ada Industries, a corporation, and at the end of basically every chapter, or during every comic, I mean, in its 4 issues, right? So it's a limited one. It's 4 issues, and you see her get to like new pieces or new details in the industry to advance something. And at the end, it seems like she's going to make a Brainiac too. So it seems like Brainiac going to make a comeback, and it's because of this woman, Miss Evans. But and I think that's probably Rocket's mom, but I'm not sure. But anyway, let's go to the main story. So Rocket, she's basically helped, like, doing her superhero thing because there's really no more superheroes. Um, the Bang Babies, because it's a milestone, so this is like Static Shock universe. Um, the Bang Babies are basically, they have a group of Bang Babies that have power, that are called the Blood Syndicate. If y'all know about them, um, they are also heroes. So what happened is, it's basically a revenge story, and it's what's her name? This woman, she's a Adleave or something like that, or Avid, and she's Erwin's Avid sister. And there's a long history about that. Come to find out, Erwin's Erwin Advid, whatever his last name, and their father is somewhat of a black man too, but he's not, but he's white. So when he had, in generations down the line, like basically you find out they have in their genes, and like this sister, she's a little bit on a darker skin complexion, and she was not raised with her brother, separated. She found out years later, yeah, as an adult, that she was related to him. But anyway, there's this, it starts off with like Rocket realizing maybe she's gonna be part of the Shadow Cabinet, but she denies it. Like, they want, the Shadow Cabinet denies her. Not No, Shadow Cabinet comes to her asking to join it. She declines. They said, "Hey, we're trying to give you the best outcome of surviving an incident." She declines. So now the incident starts taking place. Um, the woman I was just saying, I'm gonna just use the last name, Alvina, something like that. He sits up there and gets a guy to capture some Bang Babies, and these are the ones that's in the Blood Syndicate. They get captured. She uses them to basically up her, like basically use their blood to recharge or revive her brother Erwin. And she has a problem with hardware, and hardware, he's actually been set up as the murderer by Erwin before. So she captured hardware, and hardware sits up there, and basically is tied up and stuff like that. During this time, while he was getting captured, actually, Rocket was trying to get Static to become a more Earthwild hero, because in Dakota City, he only stays in his neighborhood and protects his neighborhood, because during the Brainiac invasion, his mom and then them just got hurt. Like, his home was basically attacked, and he didn't feel right about that. So now he eventually, comes on the side to come help out. But like I said, but let's get back to hardware. He's captured, and he's trying to she and Avine, or whatever, like her last name is. He tries to, not try. She basically tells him, "Hey, I'm reviving my brother, and he's going to take you out, and we're going to build this world to a better place." Well, Evine didn't realize like her brother had a different thought. He was like, "Nah, f that. I'm about to take control. I'm about to give. It's basically I'm about to take control of everybody on this planet. And the first thing I'm gonna do is get rid of that superhero, no, that alien icon, and all superpower beings, the Bang Babies." So he goes out of space, gets Icon because Icon he left, but he's only monitoring outer space for alien invasions. So he left and he's in a space station, and Irwin comes flying through, attacks him. Irwin's superpower charged, and he's fighting against Icon, and eventually Rocket comes and helps out. And when Aline finds out, or whatever, I don't know how to say her last name or even her first name, it wasn't memorable. But because she played a big part, but she wasn't really that memorable. It's like, but he he let the Bang Babies that she captured, the Blood Syndicate, like free and let them go help and stuff like that. So the shadow, the Shadow Cabinet, they come out and they help out too. And eventually, the moment where Rocket wasn't supposed to survive shows basically happens. You know, Static there also helping out in this fight, and he not he Rocket sits up there. She has this suit, and she tried to get the suit, like get Erwin to absorb the suit, like, well, not have the suit take the nanotech that's in her suit inside of Erwin to absorb most of all the quitium power he has. And he was going to basically like destroy her, like basically the scene the incident where she was about to pass, like die, happens. But there's one of the blood syndicates, they have a power to rewind. So when she was about to die, everything got rewinded to where the moment where she was about to attack, and she basically didn't lose fear, and she knew how to correct herself because she remembered what happened, and boom, that's how it did. Hardware though had made a contingency plan for just in case alien invasion happened again and something happens to him, he can have a weapon to help out in the fight. So that weapon comes and was about to kill her, but Rocket said, "Nah, don't do that because they're gonna get you. You already captured, and they'll have you for manslaughter with her. So it's best that you don't do that." And there's more of a story, but I need to make sure that this, like, you guys got to go and read. It was pretty good. So believe me that when I say it's a good read, it's just got a little few little things. So I messed up, and I might need to reread it again in order because I messed up and skipped 3 and went to read 4, and it messed up how I see the story. But overall, I was like, all right, it was decent. It was decent.
Emma Frost, the White Queen, issue 2. So we left off with Emma dropping news to the Hellfires that there might be a mole in the mix. Um, with that said, the Love Councils are thinking about what they want to do with Emma, but while some of them are trying to be like she seems questionable. One of them, I think Shaw, he's saying talking about somebody in one of the leaders up in there are saying, "Hey, a mole cannot happen. Emma, we give you the opportunity to find out. You're gonna lead an investigation, and failure is not an option." So she looks at the cameras outside. She noticed that one of the lower members of the Hellfire was outside in the crowd with the protesters during the party. So she went to Rome. She found them in Rome underneath the Colosseum. His Colosseum. There's a Hellfire underground fight, Colosseum fight. and he challenged her for her position in exchange for information. She wins. His name is Isaac, and he's a mutant that changed into a reptile. Emma used fencing to beat him, and he gives her the information that Tessa was the one that ordered him to be in the protest to find a mutant because he's able to seek out the X gene in individuals. She found him, told so Isaac found the mutant who was in the first first issue, who crashed the party. He found them, told him how to get in through the service exit and everything like that, and that's the information he gave her. Emma went back to a hotel. Was like seemed like Tessa and Shaw don't like her, are trying to get rid of her and stuff like that. But we'll find out. Well, her assistant Nor leaves her room and contacts an individual. I'm not going to tell you who. You will find out. Might be the person I name, might not. But she kind of contacts with a person telling her Emma don't know nothing, and that everything's going according to plan. And that person tells Nor, well, I think it's time for you to have a promotion. So what do that mean? I do not know, and we'll be finding out in next issue. Mr. Terrific, issue 3. I was surprised that it turns up here. Um, so we're in the flashback stage of the whole thing, and we're seeing his origin story. So last issue, he was basically dealing with grief about his friend dying, and shock was like Black Lightning was one of his friends. Also, he was at the funeral, but in this issue, it was a surprise because this issue was a surprise how it turns up is because so the agents that was working for the industry that his friend was trying to sneak into, they was like, hey, you know what, I think it's he was the wheelman, so let's go. I know he got a Camaro and his stuff that we can find and put him in to say that he's part of the situation to break in. So they sneak into his house and they see he's there, and they open up his garage and sees that, okay, they don't see a Camaro. If they would have saw the Camaro, they would have took him out. But here's the thing: holograms take a lot of energy to force, but at home it's easy. Like the energy can be really forced, can be used to make a hologram simple. And that's what they saw, a hologram. None of the stuff that they saw was real. He wasn't really home. What it was is that he was using his tech, his gadget, which he was scared that agents to do spy stuff would come and try to use his stuff. He was using it for infiltrating the industry to sabotage the project she was doing because I want to say Gateway City is being affected by the project, the experiments with the project. So he wanted to sabotage it, make it explode. It might do some stuff, but he was actually there, and he was like, he knew they was coming over there to his house to go check him. So he used holograms, and so he's sneaking into the building, and the head guy of the security company, the head agent of the security company, he was like, you know what? I see that there's somebody here. I'm about to sit up there and do that. Like, and how they know that he's there is that it's like they notice there's something blurry moving around in the industry that's sneaking around. So the head guy shows up. They have a little clash and fight, and it seems like Mr. Terrific is in trouble. They was really fighting, and it was a nice little tussle, but we ends off with Mr. Terrific losing that tussle. So we're gonna find out if we get out of that in issue 4. Okay, so we got issue 1 of Batman Gotham, um, the League of Justice, where it is by Gaslight. Okay, this is like I like the lore of this one. So it's not. It's more based in the Western time, like 1860s, something like that, like the 1800s, late 1800s, and stuff like that. And there's a history that people are basically having that they are discovering when digging up and searching for relics. Kryptonians were not just space beings; if they were Kryptonians are known. Let's put it that way, and not just because Superman. Actually, I think this one ain't even gonna be. He's not even gonna be called Superman in this one. In this series, but he. Oh, so not he. The Kryptonians were are they visited Earth way back, and they were basically conquerors. They destroyed like Wonder Woman. Like they were basically trying to destroy Wonder Woman's race, the Amazonians. Um, and the Martian Manhunter, his race, when they visit, like when Kryptonians visit, they basically conquered and slaughtered basically all their people and stuff like that. But I think the Amazonians are still there, but Martian Manhunter, his people are wiped out from Kryptonians. So when meeting Superman, they have this issue, but then they realize like, oh, Superman is this, and I think his name is Sentinel, Mister Sentinel, and he got that name from Lois Lane. And this is like a real story because Batman there, Superman, who else they showed? They showed Diana, Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter, and a Green Lantern. And what happened is that they give you a little lore about Lex Luthor, not that much, but they're looking for Luthor is looking for Kryptonian stuff. Bruce Wayne is telling this random guy about Kryptonian stuff, artifacts, and where we really start to meet all the heroes is like by a fire at the sheriff office, and like Batman, Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman was all like surrounding Superman. And Superman was like, I don't know if y'all really from Smallfield, but listen, I don't know what's going on here, but we got people to save. And it hit them they confused them about this. Like it confused him that he wanted to save people, so he went go save the bank for being robbed, and the bank robbers were like Harley Quinn, her gang, which was like a few villains, and Killer Croc was one of them, and some others. They got stopped by Superman real easy. Batman, Batman stole something that Harley was carrying out. Like he snatched up something that Harley was carrying out and ran somewhere to and he ran away with a horse. And everybody, like you see Green Lantern and Martian Manhunter had a problem because Martian Manhunter killed the predecessor of Green Lantern. Diana had to stop them from fighting. Superman saved the day, and they wondering like so Superman leaves there, but they all track Batman, and Batman opens this thing, and it looks like it's kryptonite that's in this little artifact that he took from Harley Quinn. It looked like it had like kryptonite in there. So, and Superman said, "Hey, I think introductions are in order because I think Superman knew what it was, or Mister Sentinel knew what it was." So we'll find out next issue because Lex Luthor do show up, and he also sits there, and he started attacking Smallville.
The no, I don't even think it happened. The voice said kill, or maybe it do say the voice says kill, but this story did not go exactly as I planned. I'm going to explain to you how I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a war veteran out of his mind hearing the voice saying kill because he's in the army. Hey, the story even alludes to something like that at the beginning, and it does not do it like that. So, how the story goes, it starts off like basically two wildlife and fishery officers talking, and they are basically, one's pregnant and the other one's just ain't feeling good. So the pregnant one tells the male like, "Hey, go in, go home and get yourself rested up and get better." And it was like, "Hey, I got to do the radios." And it was like, "Nah, we'll hold off. You don't look too good." And it's like, "All right." So basically, the female officer, she's there pregnant on her own. Um, a lawyer comes, bails out some guys, and then this woman pulls, and then the lawyer tells the pregnant officer that, "Hey, such and such has a conversation with you," and he goes, pulls, walks into this RV type thing, camper, and he talks to this woman, and she's talking about, "Hey, can you help look for my son?" And stuff like that. I understand what my other boys who just got out of jail, out of the holding cells for the wildlife and fishery, they were doing some stuff that they wasn't supposed to do. Cool, whatever. But can you do me a favor and find my other son? And it's like, okay, the other son, he's out in the swamp, and he's basically going a little off, and he's basically like doing some crazy stuff out there in the swamps. And what was not told, what I didn't tell y'all, is that the night before there was a party for the wildlife and fishery, and that son was there, and he poisoned all of them, poisoned all the officers in with their punch. But it was like liquor. It was like spiked punch. So it was liquor in it. So that female officer, she's pregnant. She was not able to drink any, so she didn't become sick. But she did have to go out when a call was made, and they was wondering why they was hearing gunshots. So the female officer went out, and she found that woman's son, and he was about to die, so she killed him. But knowing the woman who was looking for her son, they knew she was going to kill the female officer, and actually the whole wildlife and fishery, if she finds out that someone killed her son. So the wildlife and fishery took the man and fed him to the gators out in the swamp. I thought there was about a war veteran sitting up there killing out in the jungles and all kind of stuff. No, they're in the swamps of Louisiana. Uh, and I think I can get the gist of the story. This is going to be a limited series, I think 4 issues. And I can tell you right now what is all it's going to be about is this wildlife and fishery officer basically covering up her tracks of killing and constantly killing people to not get caught from the first death that she did. It's not even a murder she did. It was really self defense. So uh, we'll just have to check out issue 2 when that comes out. So yeah.